Hello, and welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. It's in case you wanted to see, in case you're trying to figure out what the t-shirt says. I am here every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just put your questions in the chat before I come on. And we have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community here because of you. You have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching a replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed, whatever works for you. So I'm a couple minutes late today. I do apologize. I've got graphics to show you, and I spent all morning working on them. But anyway, gosh, we've got a lot to cover. So, hello. All right. In case you're wondering what this is, when it comes to flowers, I do use quite a few lotus flowers on the channel because of the Ace of Cups. So if you're ever wondering, why all the lotus flowers more than others? That's why. Okay. All right. First of all, before we go any further, I do want to send positive energy to Raymond, because apparently Raymond de Pascal he's in Florida and he hasn't been seen since the hurricane. So if we could send just really positive energy to Raymond, to everyone affected by the storms, to raise up their vibration, to help them, to help everyone hurting. Divine energy, pour your divine energy down to those most in need. Raise the vibration of the whole world. Bless. So I hope he's okay. Okay, so hopefully he's just busy. Fingers crossed. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's a lot going on. For the first time in a long time, yesterday I forgot to turn on the monetization of the video, so the whole video yesterday didn't make a dime. And it's all my own fault. But anyway, Raymond de Pascal is in the chat. He's often in the chat. So, okay. So here we are. But it'll be okay. So, all right. What is next? Oh, something positive. Before I get into the questions, something positive, in case you need, in case you're a big fan of Bailey Boo Boos and Kitty, BBZK, or you just want some cuteness in your life, I did want to point out that I'll find the link and I'll put it in the chat, and then I'll pin it in a comment. But yesterday during the, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to turn this off. Yesterday during the creative sprints in the afternoon, the last hour, instead of looking at me or the timer or what have you, somebody got really excited about the leaves outside. And there shouldn't be much sound, but as things, you can see the tree going this beautiful orange shade, and then his leaves get blown across. Boy, he's barely moving there. Moving a little. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, if you're interested at all, you could always go and, oh, Amy, thank you. I give gifts for my birthday. I'm 70 today. Happy birthday, Amy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy. Happy birthday to you. All right. So anyway, so you could have this in the background for whatever it is that you're working on later today. Whenever you need it. He gets very excited about the leaf. So, all right. Let me see here. What have we got next? Oh, let's do the graphics. Let's talk about the astrology that's happening right now, because you might be feeling rather frustrated. Here, I'll stop this. But yeah, he's there for a while. He gets very excited. Anyway, all right. So I'll stop sharing that. I'll come back here and Leaf Looker BBZK says friends with monsters. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Denise. Oh, thank you. How about tired? I'm afraid I don't understand, B. Smith. Oh, as far as just being frustrated or tired or what have you. All right, let's have happy early birthday, Lisa. All right, let's have a look here. Now, what is various astrologers are talking about this right now, that between now and election day, you might be feeling some stress. I didn't have time. I really didn't have time to pull up the. Can I hang? Would you be willing to hang on for just 1 second? I want to pull up 2 images. One out of Aries. I need to pull up Mars. 1 second. I just have to find him. Oh, there he is. Okay, so he's there. And then I need to pull up the sun. So I need to go to Leo. 1 second. And that will I'll better be able to explain this. All right. Where are you? There you are. That works. Okay. All right. A lot of astrologers are talking about the stress that is a lot of people are feeling right now, just because of what's going on astrologically. And they will tend to say things about, put that there, and let me just grab the square symbol, and we'll be cooking with gas, I tell you. All right, I am sorry about the delay. But I want you to better understand this, and also it's using my astrographic stuff. All right. There and there. Good. All right, here we go. Let's do this. At 8 minutes, 35 seconds in. 8, 5. Stressful astrology. All right. Let's do this. Share screen. Now, a lot of people are talking about how the sun in the sky is how we, it's kind of the collective us. And so that's the sun, which rules Leo, doesn't matter. But then you've got Mars, which is the soldier, the god of war, that kind of energy. And they are 90 degrees away from each other right now, which can be grinding energy. It's the grit that you form the pearl around. It gets you moving, but it's also that kind of thing. But they talk about it I've noticed that they kind of talk about it in kind of more generic terms. So you have, can I brighten you up a little bit? Yeah, a little. It's not great, but it'll do. All right. So when they talk about the sun, we'll say this is the sun on the left. He's the king, center of all, the sun king. is in a square aspect to Mars on the right here, the soldier, right? So you've got this kind of grinding energy between them. Mars is how we take action. The sun is our sense of self. So there can be some tension there. All right, and hopefully that's what a lot of astrologers are talking about. Now, however, one of the things I've discovered in my work making astrographics is that there's a little bit more nuance, because I make images like this, but I make them more specifically for, like, this would be the sun in Leo. And over there, that would be Mars in Aries. These would be who, like, if they were people, characters, this is who they would be in the signs that they rule. So they're just the purest aspect of themselves. But this square isn't happening in these signs. So there's more information, and that becomes important because there's some other stuff happening too. Now, because if we go down, let me show you. If we go down one, actually, the sun is in Libra, and it's right here in the chart. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see better. But there's the sun in Libra, and the sun in Libra is actually across from something that not everybody's heard of, which is Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid, but it's an important one. And Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron was a centaur who was hurt by an arrow. It has some kind of poison or magic on it, so that Chiron, the centaur, got this wound that could never heal. So Chiron knew pain and became a healer because of it. He felt others' pain, and so he did everything he could to help others. But he always had a wound that he himself was carrying. So through the pain, he was helping others. And where Chiron is in your chart can often be a sensitive spot in your chart. It's like a bruise that's, if something comes along and it pokes hard on that bruise, it hurts. But it's also, there is, believe me, there's a silver lining to that dark cloud. So that is Chiron. Now, Chiron is in Aries, and Aries is a battlefield. It's ruled by Mars. Thank you, Julie. It's ruled by Mars. It is, you can think of Aries as the battlefield. That's if you put each of the signs as like a setting. So Chiron's over there in the battlefield, which is not a great place to be in general. And thank you. Sun in Libra, this is the ambassador. This is the diplomat. This is the person who can negotiate, who can see both sides, that's the beauty of Libra. Well, and Libra is ruled by Venus, so there's a certain amount of beauty and fashion involved, and diplomacy. There's a lot of diplomacy. So the sun in Libra is over here trying to be the diplomat, but is right now very much connected to poor Chiron over there in Aries. And neither of them can just go about their own energy and do their own thing like they normally do, because they're in each other's way, and they have to deal with each other's energy, and it's kind of stressful. But obviously neither of these are horrible, selfish, quote unquote, people. They're really not. And I think that's one of the things that's being missed in the astrologers who are talking about what's happening right now. So although there is all of this stress, and anytime we're dealing with the sun, the biggest thing in the sky, And we're dealing with Chiron, which is such concentrated pain. It's a big deal. But there are nuances to this. So it isn't just that we're feeling agitated or we want to lash out. It's also we're feeling pain. We're feeling abandonment. We're feeling, because this is your sense of self. The sun is. So you've got this this. So you might also be feeling left out or abandoned in some way, or you just can't get there, or you can't make it work, or there's kind of a sadness. So that's a lot of what's going on right now, but that's not the only thing going on. There's also some bad and some good, and I want you to be aware of it. It's important. So you've got these two, but it isn't just these two. In astrology, this would be a square because they're 90 degrees apart. There's something called a T-square, which is when you have this opposition, but you have something squaring. So doing that grinding energy. Sorry. This is an opposition. You've got something squaring it. I messed that up because I was talking about these two like they're square. They aren't. They're opposite each other, but it's still, they can't get away from each other. They're still having to interact with each other. They can't just go about their business. What's happening is that Mars, and we talked about Mars up here, Mars, the soldier, god of war, taking action, doing the thing. Mars is square to both of these. So he's getting in everybody's business, and he's not getting along. I mean, he's just when you have an opposition, the energy is flowing back and forth. So you have energy flowing back and forth between these two sides, but then it's kind of dumping that energy out through that part of the T-square, the thing squaring both of them, which is Mars. So there's kind of an aggressive, you get all this frustration, and then there's kind of an aggressive thing. And it isn't just you this affects, it affects people around you as well. But this is a little bit, again, it's not quite that simple, because you're not just dealing with Mars, you're dealing with Mars in Cancer. And that's really important, because Mars in Cancer here, Cancer is home, family, ruled by the moon, big mom of the zodiac. And Mars in Cancer is very much the protective quote unquote soldier. He's going to protect his children. It's an emotional seaside town. Cancer's a water sign, so there's a lot of emotion involved. But it's also it's kind of a reactionary thing, where this officer here, this person who is capable of using violence, but isn't necessarily violent. But his focus isn't on winning a war, doing whatever. If you mess with his kids, you mess with the children in his village, he's not going to be happy. So there's a reactive energy. So we have all of this energy going on between Libra and Chiron, and the energy is dumping out through Mars, which would be really aggressive, but it's kind of it's a slightly reactionary, protect me and mine energy. So I wanted you to be able to see the more nuanced thing that's going on here, because if you listen to some astrologers right now, the way they're talking, you would think it's just the worst thing. It just, Sun, Chiron, Mars, it's terrible, it's awful. Yes, it's stressful, but it helps to understand what kind of energy you're dealing with there. There are also a couple of other, okay, I'll just ask for the chat. Did that make sense? Teresa D, Cancer, Papa Bear, yeah. K Coop says, my hubby is a Cancer and a former military. This is almost him to a T. Oh, there we go. Friends with Monsters says it helps when you understand why you're feeling. Okay. Jolie S says it's very family focused. Michelle says, no, but I love you anyway. Yes, it makes sense. Michelle Tom says, nope, doesn't make sense. Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, Lisa says that's why we're all feeling a bit edgy these days. Interesting. Okay, yeah, this is why we're feeling edgy. The other thing that's going on is something to keep in mind. The way, okay, what's the best way to deal with any kind of aggressive, if possible, any way to deal, if you can, the best way to deal with any kind of aggression, difficulty, what have you, is communication, right? Talk it out, talk it through, get people talking, get people sharing. Yeah. All right. Well, here's small problem. The sun is in Libra, and Mercury, which is how we communicate, it stays relatively close to the sun as the sun goes around okay. And right now, so you've got sun in Libra, the ambassador. Well, you can kind of think of it as maybe like the ambassador's head of communications or executive secretary or what have you. But Mercury in Libra here is this communicator. But again, it's Libra energy. It's not cold, vicious, underhanded. No, really, no, it's really not. So that wouldn't be bad, except you've got Pluto, and we know all about Pluto. Pluto in Capricorn. Capricorn being the sign of the aristocracy. Let's put it that way, for just an easy way to put it. So these two, they are squaring each other. And all that means is the communicator here is trying to get communication out about what's happening. Let's organize things. Let's get things moving forward. Let's get everybody talking. But Pluto in Capricorn is over here in front of the vault, as he's controlling other people's money, and he's wanting to transform everything and get underneath and find out what's underneath everything, and he's trying to dig down deep. Libra is over there, is like, I'm a diplomat. I don't want to dig. I want us to get along. So these two have to deal with each other right now. She's just trying to go about her business. She's trying to get everybody working together, keep communication flowing. And this guy is just, I don't want to communicate all that deep, dark, digging intensity. I don't want to. But they're having to deal with each other right now. So that's why some of this stuff up here is a little stressful, because it's harder to communicate. It's harder to just communicate what's going on the way we would naturally, because he's getting in the way of her, or she's getting in the way of him. So now you think, okay, this is bad. Okay, there's one good thing going on, though. I want to point this out because this is important. Jupiter is huge and very optimistic. Jupiter is where we get the word jovial from. Friendly, outgoing, positive, rules higher education, world travel, just really upbeat, can be a little bit of a blowhard, can talk a lot more, they can promise a lot more than they can give sometimes, but pretty good. And Jupiter is in a good aspect to this whole Sun and Chiron seesaw that's going on. So that energy between the two of them is dumping out through Mars, but I don't see anybody mentioning it's also positively got a release valve through this Jupiter in Gemini. So it's not all bad. So if we can communicate, it's not all horrible. Can keep some optimism. We can communicate, because Gemini is the sign of communication. So even though Mercury might be having a little trouble with Pluto right now over at her job, Jupiter is communicating. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's the professor. Yeah. So there's good stuff there too. And thus endeth the lesson. Okay. So I hope I didn't lose everybody, but I wanted to throw that in there. Yes, Rondalyn, look on the bright side. It always helps. Yes. Okay. All right. So anyway, I know that that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I know there's a lot of stress. I know there are a lot of people stressed. And through the, this is going to shift, and it's not necessarily going to shift for the better, but it will shift, but it'll still be pretty tense. And I will show you graphics for that. Oh, thank you, B. Smith. Thank you. Through the election itself, I will create a graphic for that. I'll show you hopefully tomorrow, maybe later in the week. But that Mars, up where it was, is going to be opposite that Pluto on election day. So you've got the god of war, and then you have the god of intensity, transformation, plutonium. They're going to be opposite each other, fighting for dominance, raising the other, lowering, raising, lowering. That's going to be what we're dealing with through the election. So it will be very stressful. But I can't just put the one there and the other on the other side, because Pluto's moving into Aquarius. So, okay. Joyce says, you lost me, but I love when the astrology friends get their faith. Okay, thank you. Prince Monter says, excellent graphics help. Good, good, good. Oh, good. All right. Yay. All right. Yay. All right, that made me happy. Okay. Let's move on to some more. Thank you. Let's move on to the regular tarot questions at 2740. All right. Okay, this is, did you see? I really don't want to play it. Trump says Americans who don't support him are enemies, and says they may need to be handled by the military. There's a link in the description if you want to go watch those heinous words come out of his face. Oh, Amy Sanders, that sounds hysterical. I love the way you just described your chart. But thank you. Brad 2 says, not enough military to handle all who don't support him. Yeah. Yeah. Nettie, yes, his pie hole. To quote, what, Dean Winchester? The driver chooses the music, and shotgun closes his pie hole. Yeah. Please don't vote for this jerk. Please, please, please. Oh, BP, we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a day or two. Okay. So please don't vote for this jerk. We don't need internment camps. Let's not do that ever again. Seriously. Oh, yeah, I understand if you can't listen to his voice. All right, we have hope. This is not just a done deal that this jerk is going to get in. Knight of Cups. Okay, this came before his idea of victory. In a sense, this is showing the two sides of, this is what the Democrats are trying to do to work for democratic ideals, whereas Trump is all about his victory, his authoritarian rule, his emperorship, his kingship. I know an emperor is someone who rules over multiple kingdoms, but I use them interchangeably a lot around here because there's an emperor card. Anyway, in the center, that would do a lot of damage. But there are a whole lot of people voting for Democrats here that make the person in red have to walk away. Sorry. And Magician is, they might, Heritage Foundation and all of those jerks. That's, they'll still try to find their way around it. But I've got a whole lot of people voting Democratic here. There is hope. Will Trump get back into power to create his internment camps using the military to round up immigrants? I'm sorry, Trump. Rounding up immigrants, you say? Really? Really? Because I don't believe you have any native genetics in you. So there's the door. Ace of Wands. Yeah, he's a... What is a wand or a hammer but a tool? Oh, would he do it? Yeah. Remember, he tried to ban people from predominantly Muslim countries from coming into the country, but yeah, it would not work so well, and he would end up in a whole lot of trouble. I honestly, I don't even, based on this feeling, I don't even think the heinousness that is our current, well, most of our current Supreme Court would go along with this. But would he do it? Would he try? Yes. Would it work? No. Trisha's asking if he's deporting immigrants, will he send Melania back? Mm-hmm. Yeesh. He's so gross. Handled by the military. But if you watch the video, he's slightly vague. I mean, he's weasel words. It's there, but it isn't, all right, I'm going to call up this many people. I'm going to call up the military to do this, to set up, like I've got this plan. A little weaselly, just enough. Oh, I was joking. Oh, I was being sarcastic. He has said repeatedly that when he said that people should inject bleach, don't do that. I was joking. Everybody know. You know better than anybody. I was joking. No, you weren't. You were being an idiot, which you are. Anyway, all right. Bratu's asking, I wonder if the military would comply. It feels like a big no, but would the military comply? On our soil? Well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. I'm getting... Welcome. Hello, our first Madam President. Yeah, he's going to have bigger problems. This is him. And all this stuff he's thrown out there, it will come back to bite him. Metaphorically. So, yeah, Francis Monsters, way to insult Detroit while in Detroit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's a big jerk. Okay. So, at 3440, love gatos, don't we all? 3445. As the amount of money Trump owes people keeps growing at a rapid pace, will some of his real estate and other assets eventually be seized to pay for them? Is there a question here about the people? By the way, yeah, I don't think it's here. Do you remember a while ago when Trump had a rally out in the middle of nowhere, and it was really, really cold, and the people who went to the rally were just abandoned there with no way to get out? And there were some elderly people, and it was just desperately cold. He did it again. Hired coaches to take people from a parking lot to the rally in Coachella. Obviously not, this isn't the music festival, but Coachella. Five buses to take people from the parking lot to the rally, and no buses to take anybody back to the parking lot. It was a 2-hour walk if somebody wanted to try to walk back. One of the bus drivers felt sorry for the people who were trapped there and did ferry some people back, at least for a little while, unpaid. Oh, Lois was saying it was 105 at Coachella. But they're still going to vote for him because he cares about you. Mental disconnect, anybody? But this is specifically about the amount of money that Trump owes. Again, I'm getting lots of hope. People working together, municipalities working together. To some extent, almost it feels almost, I'm getting a mental image of the retired judge who is overseeing Griftco right now. Court ordered monitor for Griftco. A legal decision. Queen of Cups. He's not in power to change anything, and they're day late and a dollar short. I don't know if all of these places are going to get their money. It almost feels like they should do like a what do you call it? When whole groups of people get together and sue somebody. Group effort. There's a word for it. It escapes me. It eludes me at the moment. But class action? Rondalyn, yes, class action. They should almost do something like that. And yeah, sue him, get your money back. And if you're like, well, but we're a small town, we can't do that. Gather together with other small towns and sue them for all of it plus interest and damages. Because there's a basic, contractual thing. Thank you, everybody, for helping me. Katie and Proud asking Sarah, who is not here, I'm afraid, can you check Autumn's website? My website is not working right now because I'm switching over. I'm getting out of Squarespace and I'm switching over to a basic Notion website. But was there a problem or something you're looking for? And yeah, make him pay his bills. Get together. Don't let it just sit there. Work together. I think they might. Somebody needs to go whisper in some municipalities' ears. Hey, local government, that you got stiffed by this guy. Basic contract law. Get together. He owes here, this amount of money, that amount of money, this amount of money. Make him pay up. Do it. So, hopefully. Elflower 1 star says 45 will just delay and delay. That's why I think you've got to come together so basically you're sharing the cost of the lawyers. Go find some really aggressive lawyers. Maybe you can get your state attorney generals involved. Get your money from this jerk. Seriously. He's had enough victims. Don't be another one of them. Anyway. All right, at 40:35. You know how I mentioned the idea of Trump internment camps? I was mistaken in one respect. Oh, he's definitely talking about that. But the first question wasn't about that. It was about him going after people who don't vote for him, who might be uppity about it, protest or whatnot. Yeah. That I don't expect much to come from that. But apparently, they're still on the books. There is still on the books the 1789, yes, year 1789 Aliens Act, which allows the president to construct internment camps like the ones the Japanese Americans were forced into during World War II, and he doesn't have to go through Congress. That's my understanding. Please tell me this isn't true, but I think it is. Yes, Jeffrey Schwartz, class action lawsuit for unpaid bills. Yes. Yep. This is Terry Solaris. Yep. Can we get this thing off of the books, please? So the 1789 Aliens Act, is it going to be used again? Or can we finally yeet this thing out of existence? Terry Solar says, it's true, I searched it. Oh. Huh. No, he'd love that. Chaos, selfishness. Who's going to pay for this? Page of Swords, bullying. Yeah, but here's the thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. But the thing, I don't think it's going to happen. And I think there would be. People would be out on the streets. Yep. We're not doing this. Matter of fact, what I'm getting is we're not doing this Trump thing. I'm just not getting him winning. I hope so. I hope I'm right. But I just don't get him winning. Over and over and over and over. Dorinda Cosgrove says it is the 1798 Alien and Sedition Acts. Thank you. It wasn't 89, it's 98. Thank you. 1898. Aliens and Sedition Act. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's go look at the weather. Other than the fact that it's just a beautiful day here in Chicago. 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Lovely. 4410. Claude had a question. Apparently, the temperature of the water in the Gulf of Mexico is abnormally warm. Yeah. Which fuels storms becoming hurricanes. Could we see more of those forming to like Category 5, something big, and affecting states this area until the end of the season? Well, there are storms out in the Atlantic, tropical depressions that could very well turn into hurricanes. And again, the water in the Gulf is very, very, very warm. Lewis says it must be all the battery-powered sharks. No, I don't like it. Matter of fact, that's got a horrible itch on my back as well. We've already had some of that, and it's been gnarly, nasty, ick. Trying to come together, or trying to just live our lives, but with climate change, it's just a matter of time. If the people in red have not been listening, no matter how much everything's pointed out to them, here's another chance to make things right. Nope. That's a hurricane. So I didn't get the tower, I guess is good. I do have the moon, which is chaos. Global warming. Mm-hmm. Evelyn Hartman says, I live in Florida, and I say yes. I'm sorry. So, Summer Virgo 81 says, it's so infuriating. Yeah. Yeah, Lois. La, 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 la. Yeah. I wish I could do something about it. It's just a matter of... Carol said, well, so what constitutes the season these days? Probably longer than it used to be. So... Oh, Astro Chick. I'll have to see if I can remember that. But do throw questions into the chat before I come on. That's where I get my questions. Otherwise, things kind of get lost in the ether. But I would love to read on that. Okay. 4720. Will Mike Johnson recall Congress before the election? Or will he be pig-headed and refuse to do so before the election, causing suffering for the GOP because of all the hurricanes and whatnot? I don't trust him to do anything. You're all right. That's not that horrible creature out there who's barking. It's only, I don't think dogs are horrible, but he does. Who does? Dear, he's not coming over here. She's not coming over here. You're okay. You're safe. You're safe. Speaker Mikey. He's supposed to be the Speaker of the House, the king of the legislation-ish area, his area of it. Kingly energy, I should say. Tower, lots of people being hurt. Democrats want to help. Because anyway, if they were called back now for more money, apparently they're fully funded for the moment. It would help with future disasters. Because it's expensive. It's expensive. And all the damage and horrors. Democrats want to do this, but he's over here sitting. I wouldn't hold my breath. Oh, I understand, Astro Chick. I understand. Is there any way you could throw it in before I come on? Please. I'm here every single day of the year. Every single day. Weekends, weekdays, weekends, holidays, your birthday, my birthday, I'm here. So, okay. Thank you. At 49:50, Kristen from Uncover the News. It's a very good question, which is not surprising because she often does. Will a major hurricane affect Election Day? Oh dear. Will hurricane affect election day in the U.S.? I would think that wouldn't the meteorologists have some rough idea about that? I mean, we're, what, 3 weeks out? 1, 2, yeah, we're 3 weeks and 2 days out. So just put it in the chat just before I come on. Thank you. The future live streams are all public. I cannot believe I forgot to turn on the monetization yesterday. I can't believe it. That was really dumb of me. But anyway, here we are. I'll live. I will live. Okay. Election day. Actually, I've got pretty... That looks like clear skies in Florida, for what that's worth. Not all hurricanes hit Florida, but this is still doing a lot of very expensive cleanup. Cleanup is the big problem right now, so people can get out to vote. I don't. Maybe Trump could get a Sharpie and just draw it so none of the storms come in. That would work, right? Yeah. I'm not getting chaos at the end, so I'm hoping it won't be heinous. But Oxford KT says we have a depression we're looking at. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta take my watch off that. Oh, it's hurting. So fingers crossed. I was very excited about the leaves. Yeah, there's storms out there though. Do not get complacent. And again, it's I'm just getting the chaos of all the cleanup and the all that difficulty, making it harder to do everything. There are more storms out there, but I'm getting the big problem being the cleanup, clearing things out, making it possible for people to function. Man, Mary Meyer says, please vote early if you can. Yeah. Yep. Francis, I'm giving him an idea. I don't know. It won't last long if I do, because ideas are... Trump's head is where ideas go to die. Yeah, certainly good ideas. What was that? Huh? Anyway. 5340. Ember glows bright. I love that name. 5345. Oh. Yesterday in Durham, Mark Robinson. Remember Mark Robinson? If you don't, good for you. He had a rally scheduled. Once he got a look at the women who came peacefully who were sitting in the front, right in his line of sight, who were all wearing red robes with white bonnets, he canceled the event and left. Is this going to hurt him? Yay, Astro Chick. Put my ballot in the ballot box yesterday, voted blue up and down the ballot. Yay. Thank you for voting. Thank you. Whew. Yes, Burn. Handmaidens at work. Hold on, it says women power. Lewis says, bye, Felicia. Yeah, Mark Robinson. Oh, you know what? He's waiting for a ship to come in. He thinks he's all that. I'm this important Republican. Really? Women? Women could mess with him everywhere he goes. Seriously. This feels like you can get in his way. It wasn't just then. He's a coward. Women can really, really get in his way. I would like to highly recommend that to any local women who want to peacefully protest this jerk's policies. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do put questions for me in the chat just before I come on. I have my questions for today. Matter of fact, some of these I'm going to have to roll over. But your questions are very important to me. And I'm here every single day to read on them. Okay. So Lisa K had a question about Dan Osborn, an independent candidate in Nebraska, looking at 5630. Dan Osborn, an independent candidate in Nebraska, running a close race against the incumbent Republican senator. Okay. Will he win? If he does, will he side with the Dems on most issues? All right, Nebraska. Going to vote for Dan Osborn? CC Ryder, there's a link in the description. Oh, maybe there isn't. Huh. Ember, if you're around, Ember Glows Bright, where did you see that article? Even if it's not true, I am getting that women can get in his way peacefully. Dan Osborn. I'm guessing the incumbent Republican thought that he didn't have to do that much. Patty says, I looked for the article and couldn't find anything. Okay. Ember Glows Bright says, I'm pulling it up now. Thank you. I have the feeling that no, but there's some people who really want to make some changes in Nebraska. They really, really want to make some changes. And up comes, hello, Dan Osborn. Lisa K says the UAW is supporting him too. Okay. John Francis, I checked Osborn's site. It doesn't say anything about women's rights or LGBTQ plus protections. Oh, man. Anna says he's running against Deb Fisher. She the Republican? Astro Chick, I don't know what that means. Sorry. So anyway. Yes, that's Lisa K. Okay. Well, okay, people do want change. And this is quite weak at the end, where Republicans and the far right, they're trying to kick over all the Democratic stuff, and they're waiting for their ship to come in. But there's some heavy forces trying to make change. And these are pretty weak. These feel pretty weak. Juan E. Mo says the race in Nebraska is pretty much tied. He doesn't plan on caucusing with either party if elected to Senate. Okay. Anna says she's the Republican chairman of the House of Ways and Means. Okay, thank you. it's going to come down to down to women's rights all across the country. Rights that were taken away that made women instantly second-class citizens. Men have rights all over the country. Women, I think Republicans thought that Nebraska was a lock. There's some confusion here, though. I mean, it could be attempted obfuscation, but there's some confusion here. But I'm just getting how many women are willing to vote to get their rights back, to get rights back for other women. How many allies are willing to vote so women get their rights back, to protect LGBTQ plus people, human rights? How many people are willing to vote for human rights? That's the focus. Anna says Dan is for women's rights and gay rights. Okay. Well, it with the Empress card there, that would generally mean that the wave in the country to restore women's rights and keep LGBTQ plus rights, maybe even improve them so there's more equality. Yeah, that this would get caught up in that. So Paul Silver says, we've been second-class citizens all along. I never got equal pay or privileges. I know. But it'd be nice if we could at least just go back to the rights we had a few years ago, and then we can all work for more equality and decency and, the good stuff. So, temperance, but action. I don't think it's a done deal. And the far right, they're going to fight back against all this uppity women energy. There's a chance. The energy is not, it's the strongest energy I'm getting is the wave across the country that this will be a part of it. I'm like, will he win specifically? I'm getting a close probably. It's not like, yes, the energy is not like, whoa. It's like, rising tide raises all boats. So that's what I'm getting there. Believe it or not, that's going to do it for me for today. I've been on for over an hour. Thank you so much for everything. It is 1:21. Oh gosh, it is 1:21 here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Let me think. Yeah, other than that, I'll be right back here tomorrow. It is Sunday, so Petty Boots Club is tonight. Is it on Jen Lynn's channel? I can't remember if it's on Jen Lynn's or Tara's Apprentice, but it's on one or the other. I want to say it's on Tara's Apprentice. Anyway, but I'll either be watching that with you live or I'll catch it right after. Other than that, that's it. So please just put your questions in the chat before I come on. And remember, you're not alone. We're in this together, and there are good days ahead. So hang in there. All right? And I will see you right back here tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.